Rockin' Country Radio, today's hottest country and more. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Rockin' Country Radio. I'm your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and I'm pretty excited about tonight, not only because of the tremendous guests that we have, but also because it is Friday Eve. Can I get a hallelujah? I mean, I love this time of week. I know many of you look forward to your Fridays and your weekends, and here in North Carolina, our weather has been supreme for the last couple of days. It is just an awesome time. We don't find low humidity in July, so everybody's pretty excited about that. The weather's been optimal. You can get outside and do pretty much what you want. So I hope wherever you are this evening that you've had a great day, great week, and you're looking forward to a wonderful weekend. And I can't think of a better way to end our week's worth of shows this week than with our guest tonight. And number one, because she is a native of North Carolina like myself, and I love to have my North Carolina artists on our show to have them represent because they are so immensely talented, and our guest is no exception. And I want to give you a little background on her before I bring her on. She is a 2013 Carolina Music Award nominee and a four-time Charlotte Music Award nominee. She has written or co-written nearly 150 songs. Now, she's only 21. So, think about that. And when she was a senior in high school, she received the honor of being the winner of the Wolf Radio's Moment of Greatness contest with her original song, Keep It in Drive. And she was soon presented many opportunities to play outside the state, including being selected after performing at the Charlotte Music Awards in 2012 to compete in the Texaco Country Showdown in South Carolina, backed by the radio station Interstate 107 FM. And she has also played on the WDVX Blue Plate Special radio show in Knoxville, Tennessee. She moved to Nashville in January of last year, and since taking up residence there within the first year, she has been in a Brad Paisley CMA Promo commercial, a Darius Rucker GAC special, and a featured extra on ABC's Nashville. And she just recently graduated Cum Laude from Belmont University. She is immensely talented, and she's just released her 5-song EP, all original material that she wrote. The EP is entitled Songs About Carolina, and had a release party recently. And I'm so proud to welcome Miss Brooke McBride. Hello, Brooke.
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm doing great. How are you this evening?
I'm really good.
Well, it is an honor to have you here. As I said in the intro, I love having North Carolina artists on, and it's so much fun to watch your career as it kind of unfolds and continues to grow. And you are doing such a great job of representing our great state, and your career is really starting to take off.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really excited to be living in Nashville now. I've been there about a year and a half, but I'll always remember where home is, so I got to represent.
That's right. Well, we have some great musicians from North Carolina and artists too, country speaking, and you are an awesome performer, artist, and I'm telling you, you're a tremendous singer-songwriter. I love your songwriting style, and this new album that you've just come out with. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, that's got to be a major accomplishment for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And like you said, the title of the album, or the EP rather, is Songs About Carolina, and pretty much all of my inspiration for the EP came from experiences that I've had around home, so I thought it was only appropriate to entitle it Songs About Carolina. Plus, I do have the actual song, Songs About Carolina, and that came from, I'm out on the road a lot these days, and I hear a lot of songs about Carolina, but there wasn't one explaining why there are so many songs about Carolina, so that was my thought process on that.
Well, that's really cool, and I love the fact that because you are a North Carolina native, that not only is your first EP, your debut EP, entitled Songs About Carolina, but you've actually, you had the wherewithal to create a song that kind of sums it up about why there are so many songs. Because really, if you think about it, there are. And
yeah.
And the reason I love your writing style is because, as I've listened to your EP, it just takes me back to, like on your song Open Sunday. I mean, that's like a trip down memory lane for me personally, because a lot of the things that you describe in that song, I've experienced in my own lifetime with my grandparents growing up. And it's just it's very nostalgic, but yet very modern, very relevant, and that's kind of what I love the most about your music.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and Open Sunday may be my favorite song on the EP. I don't want to say that I have a favorite, but if I had to choose, I might choose that one because it's really about how I grew up, and obviously I didn't grow up when everything was closed on Sunday, but I've heard stories from my grandparents and my parents, and I do wish it was still that way. So that's where that came from.
Well, I can tell you, having grown up, and that's telling my age, but having grown up in an era where everything was closed on Sunday, which now seems like a foreign concept, but it was such a simpler time, and as I look back at my own life, sometimes, I mean, that song definitely resonates with me, as I know it has many that have heard it already, but many more who haven't. When they do hear it, they're going to go, "Oh my gosh, yes!" And it's to the point where it's been so long ago that things were closed on Sundays that people don't really think about that anymore, and this song kind of brings it back to mind, and then you go, "Oh my gosh, that's right." It's kind of like an epiphany almost. Well, talk a little bit about what went into making this album, because being that this is your first EP, it had to have been a great labor of love for you personally.
Yeah, it took me about a year and a half, maybe a year to a year and a half to get everything finished and recorded and stuff like that. But as far as the songwriting goes, some of those songs I wrote, 2.5, 3 years ago, something like that. And so now when I hear the songs, I'm like, oh, these are old, because I've written so many new songs. But I still love the songs, and I'm happy with the 5 that I did choose for the EP. And yeah, I mean, it took a lot of hard work, because I was still in school. I was a senior at Belmont University in Nashville when I was trying to record this, and so there were a couple times where I had to skip class to be in the studio. Don't tell my mom that, though.
I won't. and she won't know unless she's listening to this tonight.
Yeah, I actually think she's downstairs on the computer right now, so hey, Mom.
Oh. Well, I tell you, it's a great project, and for it to be your debut release, to me, it really does encompass what, kind of where you're from, which I absolutely love about that. But it turned out so good, and I think a lot of times, when an artist is going to release their debut project, there's got to be a lot of pressure in, how is it going to be received, and what are people going to think, and in your experience, what have people been saying about it so far? What kind of feedback have you been getting?
All the feedback has been really positive so far, unless people are just lying to my face to make me feel better. Hopefully that's not the case. No, but I've had really good feedback from it, and I seem to have a lot of people who, we were talking about Open Sunday earlier, and a lot of people have really said that song has had an impact on them, and that's what it's all about for me. I just want to make music that has an impact on people. I'm not in it for the money or the fame or anything like that. I just want to make an impact. So hopefully this album or EP will do that.
Well, I have no doubt, because it definitely has had an impact on me. As I said, just taking a trip down memory lane at some of the lyrics in your songs. And for you personally, what has it been like hearing it, as a finished product? It's a lot different than when you're in the studio recording or performing these songs live. But when you finally got it all finished, what was that feeling like for you?
Oh, it was awesome. I was really happy with how it turned out, and it's always kind of weird to hear yourself played back. But yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, you've been in Nashville, as you said, for about a year and a half, and when you first moved to Nashville, was it kind of like a culture shock? I mean, I know North Carolina, various parts of it can be rather busy, you know, with Raleigh, Durham, and you got Charlotte and various regions. But for Nashville, it's really hopping, you know. And so, what was it like for you to move there?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a culture shock. I get asked all the time. They're like, "Where are you from?" And you know, I'm like, "We're still in the South, hello." But Nashville's such a melting pot that there's just people from everywhere there, and right in the middle of the city, which is where I live right now. There's hardly, you know, any of the Southern accents or anything like that. So I'm kind of like an oddball out there, but I still love it.
And, you know, that's interesting that you'd say that, because I think most people stereotypically would think, because Nashville is the hot seat for country music in America, that everybody out there would have a Southern accent of sorts, or a country accent, you know.
Yeah,
and
no, I thought that
though,
at the beginning.
Brooke, you don't sound nowhere near as Southern and country as I do. And I do tons of interviews, and I tell you, it never fails, unless I'm interviewing from somebody from North Carolina and occasionally Texas. Most everywhere else in the United States, when I'm interviewing people, they're going, okay, now where are you from? You know, they like the accent, but they're trying to place it too. You know, it's really kind of funny. So it's interesting that you would say that, you know, in Nashville, where you would automatically think everybody kind of has that accent about them, that, you know, you feel like, hey, I'm way Southern compared to some of these out here. So, but it is a melting pot. I mean, people come from all over to pursue their dreams in Nashville, and you know, and that of course is not going to be limited to just people in the South only.
Yeah.
Now, when you got out there, I mean, it wasn't long. You started making some serious connections, and wow, I mean, to be able to have some of the experiences, you know, being in Brad Paisley CMA Promo commercial and the Darius Rucker special, and gosh, even a featured extra on ABC's Nashville. I mean, that's pretty cool, considering, you know, you hadn't been in Nashville very long, and I'm sure with so many people being in Nashville kind of clamoring for a lot of the same, you know, opportunities. How in the world did that kind of come about for you?
Oh my gosh, it's just kind of crazy. Kind of one thing led to another, and I knew somebody who was doing this, and they were like, oh, you should do this too, and you know, the story's never the same, but it was just kind of really random how it all happened, and really all of that happened within the first 6 months that I was in Nashville, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, talk about, you know, especially having made the decision to move to Nashville and then get out there, and you're not even there a year yet, and you're already getting these kinds of opportunities. Now, did you actually get to work with Brad Paisley and Darius, or were they filming at other times, or how did that kind of all happen for you? Did you make any connections, I guess, is the question I'm trying to ask, with them particularly?
From that, I didn't really make any connections. That was also kind of a behind-the-scenes extra type thing. I wasn't, you know, right beside them while they were filming or whatever, but I was just kind of in the room. So, you know, nothing too crazy happened from that, but it was still pretty cool just to be a part of.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity that so many people hope for, and only a few get to pursue. So that's awesome. Now, you know, as I said in the intro, that you have written or co-written nearly 150 songs, and are any of those songs that you've written previously, are they going to be used in future projects, you know, as you go forward, or are those just kind of songs that you wrote to kind of build on your skill of songwriting, or what is your plan there for those?
There's always the possibility that some of them could be used, or I'm always going back and rewriting songs, so something like that could happen. But for the most part, a lot of those songs were just kind of stepping stones and building blocks, trying to hone in on my writing style and craft, and because obviously all of those 150 songs aren't necessarily good, and probably some of them should never be heard by the public.
Oh.
But it's always good to go ahead and to get the crap out before the diamond can really shine, or something like that. I totally bombed that quote.
Oh, well, you know what? I think everyone listening probably understands what you were trying to say, and it's very true. But it definitely, I think, paved the way for where you are now. And obviously, your love of music and writing and singing and performing goes way far back. I mean, it just didn't start when you were in high school, or and you've just kind of built upon that. And it, of course, now you have the EP out now. As I understand it, and I didn't get to attend, but I understand that you had an EP release party recently to kick off that. How did that go for you?
Oh, it went amazing. It was honestly one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show that I've ever done. We had a pretty good crowd. There were about 200 people there, and sold a lot of CDs and just got to talk to a lot of people. And it was in my hometown, so I got to see a lot of familiar faces, and it was just a total blast.
And so many artists that I talk to, and tell me if this kind of rings true for you as well, but they talk about the rush that they get when they've been out in Nashville and they get to go back home and play a show. It's always a while because they're off in Nashville doing so many other things, but to be able to go back home and play a show for whatever reason, they say is one of the most special experiences of their career because it's something they don't get to do very often. Would you say that kind of rings true for you as well?
Oh, it totally is, yeah. And I've never gotten to play. I think I've only played like 3 shows in my hometown. So coming back home and just receiving that warm welcome from everybody was just awesome.
And it's nice to know you have the support of your hometown, rallying behind you in you pursuing your dreams, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So, you've got the EP out. What other great things have you got going on right now?
Right now, I've just been doing a lot of writing, getting a lot of material for whenever the next EP or maybe even full-length album, hopefully, will come out. But no recording has been started for that. But I'm also doing some touring to kind of promote the EP. And, I've got a pretty good tour lined up for the rest of the year, and I'm working on getting some dates next year, and hopefully by next year I'll be recording again, too.
Yeah, I was looking at your tour date schedule recently, and, I mean, you're packed all the way to the end of August, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome that you're getting to play some shows and really showcase your EP. And the more people hear it, I mean, people are absolutely going to love it. And I don't say that because you're from North Carolina. It's really good, and the writing is good. The music is good. The songs, we've already talked about, are just hit on so many things from days gone by. And one of the things that I love about that EP, and I can't say I have a favorite because they're all good, but I love the writing on The Dog. You've got to talk about the song The Dog, because that song is every female song that's ever been wronged by a guy. And I thought, and I have to ask you, is that born of a personal experience or just experience that friends have had and so forth? I have to ask that question,
It is based on a true story, but it's not my true story. It is a friend's story. I won't name names.
That's fine. I wouldn't dare ask you to. But yeah, that song is, I think every woman that's ever been through that is another relatable song, of course, but it's so relevant to country radio now because, and I love the fact that you're a female and you're writing a song that I think really kind of gets in the faces of guys because, country radio right now is chock full of the guys, and they're talking about the girls sitting in the tailgates and things like that. And it's so cool that there's a female artist out there who has written a song that kind of puts guys in their place, So I'm like, go Brooke.
Yeah.
So, well, that's really cool, and I'm sure. I mean, you have like a little promo snippet of that on your website, and I love that because it looks like you had a lot of fun performing that.
Oh yeah. That, I think the snippet you're talking about, I did an Indiegogo campaign to fund some of this EP. And had a lot of positive response from that, and really appreciate the response from that because without some of the people who contributed, I don't know if that project would have even been possible, or at least it probably would have taken longer to finish. So I'm very thankful for all the Indiegogo supporters.
Well, I definitely say this is my suggestion. I would love to see you release that as a single or the next single you put out, because that song is awesome. And females everywhere, it's like, go Brooke. This is an anthem for us, for all the females that have ever been through this. So it's a great song, and you did a good job, on the writing of it and just how it all came together. It's one of those songs you don't forget,
Well, thank you.
It's really it's a lot of fun. But your whole EP is that way. It kind of is like a journey from start to finish. And, it has serious moments where it kind of takes you back in time. But then, you've got this song like The Dog, and you're sitting there going, yep, been there, done that. So, well, I tell you, Brooke, I can't wait to see what's going to happen for you as time goes on. You've got such an amazing career ahead of you. You've already done some incredible things so far, and from one North Carolinian to another, I'm ecstatic for what's to come for you. You're just immensely talented, and I have no doubt that whatever you do is going to be a success.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, you're very welcome, and we've added your music to rotation on our radio station. We will continue to play your music on our weekly show, and of course, anything we can do to help promote you, please let us know, because we would love to. It would be our pleasure.
Yeah, that sounds great. And if anybody out there wants to listen to any music or check out some more information about myself, they can always go to BrookeMcBrideMusic.com, and I'm also on Facebook, Brooke McBride Music.
Awesome. Well, Brooke, thank you so very much for joining us this evening and being our special guest, and best of luck to you as you go forward, and we will be seeing you out on the road, I'm sure, when you are back in North Carolina.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care, and good night.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, what a sweet young lady, and I tell you, she's got a great career ahead, as I said, and an amazing talent. And also, she didn't throw this out there. She gave her website and her Twitter, her website and her Facebook address, but her Twitter handle is Brooke McBride. So go like her website, and go visit her website, like her Facebook page, and follow her on Twitter. And if you love her album, we're going to play a couple cuts off of this in just a moment. Please buy the music and support her, because she is independent. She everything she does, she funds herself, and it is through your support that enables her to continue to build upon her career and really get that great music out there for all to hear. So before we wrap up our show tonight, we are going to play a couple cuts off of her latest EP, and the EP is called Songs About Carolina. We're going to be featuring Open Sunday and the title cut, Songs About Carolina. Here is Brooke McBride.
Rocking chairs on the front porch of the little white house on Old Lumber Road. Every Sunday, my whole family used to be there, and it was the only day Granddaddy's store was closed. When those old chairs get to swaying, I can almost see my grandma. Then I blink and it's just the wind. And Granddaddy's store's been for sale about a year. They say someone's gonna open it again. When I drove by today, the for sale sign was gone, and a man had put up one of his own. almost everywhere's open 7 days a week. 'Cause people go on with their lives and think a day of rest is just a waste of time. Open Sunday. Ain't it funny how things change? Even in the sleepiest town, everybody's always awake. Oh, how I wish it were still the old way, when church doors and grandma's kitchen were the only things open Sunday. There's 2 empty rocking chairs on the front porch of the little white house on Old Lumber Road. James Taylor on my old radio. Windows down, sun shines up, and I'm headed home. It's been 40 days and 41 nights, but that's 41 too long. When I can't be in Carolina unless I hear it in a song. And then I close my eyes and let the music take me there. In my mind, all my sweet Carolina songs just like prayer. Oh Lord, take me home. Didn't know what I had, so what I had was gone. A stranger's way.
reason why there's so many songs about Carolina. As the song says, Brooke McBride, and that is the title cut off of her EP, Songs About Carolina. And before that, again, you heard Open Sunday. Great, great, great music. And I tell you, many people might disagree with me, but I have to say North Carolina is one of the best places to live in the U.S. because we have the coast on one side and the mountains on the other, 3.5 hours apart. Either way, it makes a great day trip, and there's a lot of neat places to see in between. So if you're not from these parts and you're ever traveling through, stop on in and visit and stay a while because it's really rich in history and a lot of great things that go on here. We want to thank Brooke McBride for being our special guest again this evening. It has been wonderful having her here and chatting with her, and have no doubt she's going to have a great career ahead of her in Nashville. And, of course, we will continue to promote and keep everyone informed of things that develop with her as they happen, and we'll bring any new music to you that she puts out, because we definitely love supporting our North Carolina artists and wish them all the very best. So that is actually going to wrap up our show for this evening, folks. We want to thank everyone for joining us. If you're brand new to our program or you're a first-time listener, thank you so much, and we welcome you here, and we hope that you will be back. We will actually be gone for a couple of days. We will be back here on Monday night, 7:30 p.m. with Two Steel Girls, and certainly hope that you can join us for that at that time. So in the meantime, enjoy your Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here again real soon. Take care, all. God bless, and good night. Check out Rockin' Country Radio on the web. Find us at rockincountryradio.com, on Twitter at Rockin_CTRY, and on Facebook at Rockin' Country Radio.